Can't live without, and only the iHeartRadio app has it all for free. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Solar credits are taking a dive, blocking your benefits under the current policy now. There's no cost or obligation to you. Call 530-213-5660 before April 7th or visit solarlist.org.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation. Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Kevin James live, the Irregardless Tour.
I was in Atlanta at the airport waiting for my bag, and this woman asked to take a picture, and I was like, sure, no problem. And she takes out her iPhone, and she just holds it on me. She just holds it on me right there, and I'm just standing there. She's video recording me from a foot away, like I'm a panda at the zoo.
Friday, March 31st, the venue at Thunder Valley. All new and all incredible. The venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
Hi there, it's Pat Walsh. Don't miss the Love Your Floor sale at American River Flooring. 10% off of showroom materials, 25% off of stock goods all month long. Only at American River Flooring, 8510 Madison Avenue in Fair Oaks or AmericanRiverFlooring.com.
Kitty O'Neill, building a better Sacramento during the KFBK Afternoon News on KFBK News Radio.
National divorce. Something that's got a lot of attention because Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted out a couple of days ago the following: we need a national divorce to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government. Everyone I talk to says this. From the sick and disgusting woke culture issues shoved down our throats, the Democrats' traitors, America Last policies, we are done. The last word was done. It's like, where are we going with this? We are done. So this got a lot of people, even on the right, having, of course, the left just says, oh my gosh, it's secession, and they're going to break the country apart, and they're going crazy over this. But look, it's not happening anytime soon. So I think they can calm down a little bit. It's more of a philosophical discussion for most people. Some people, I think, do believe that we could be heading in the direction over the long term of a greater degree of separation. I did also think this was so interesting because there is a sorting. Well, let's look at what is happening, right, Clay? And then we can talk about where maybe this is going. There has been a sorting that COVID in particular accelerated between very, very blue areas and then red, becoming less blue, or rather becoming more blue, and red areas becoming red. The blue is getting bluer, the red's getting redder. Notably, as we've talked about so many times, New York and its environs, so to some extent New Jersey and some other places in New England, moving, and then California and the Pacific Northwest, moving to red states with lower taxes and that were more free, at least, during COVID. The biggest single example of this is, Florida is the biggest in terms of population inflow, I believe, with about 350,000 according to census data. The last thing I saw, I think the number is higher than that now. It's probably more like 500,000 to 600,000.
It's actually 800,000 since April of 20. The LA Times came out with some numbers. California has lost 700,000 in population. Florida has gained 800,000. And Buck, by the way, I wanted to mention this because I saw this number. It ties in really well with what you're talking about. You know how they keep updating the Florida register rolls for how it breaks down Democrat, Republican? Or when Ron DeSantis came into office, there were 257,000 more Democrats registered in Florida than Republicans. They just released the numbers for February of 23. Republicans now have a 417,000 lead, and that is flipped by 675,000 people, just Democrats to Republicans, since December of 18. So that kind of speaks to the blue-bluer, red-redder aspect.
Right. So that makes more sense. I was going to guess 600,000 or 5 to 600,000. You're telling me it's 800,000, which I totally believe that. Down in Florida, that seems to be the reality. If you look at the real estate market in Florida, it's certainly reflected in the housing prices across the board. But what's fascinating is when you have this data that shows Americans are making choices in large numbers, favoring one system over another. But there is no counter movement of people from Texas going, I hate Texas so much, I'm moving to San Francisco. That does not exist. So this isn't just, there's a sorting that's going both ways. What you have is the areas that got too blue and too crazy, that had an outflow of people who just can't take it anymore. That outflow is having massive financial ramifications on budgets. I mean, the California budget statewide, the deficit is billions and billions of dollars. It's way more than even Gavin Newsom's staff had assessed it would be. New York City, much more so than even New York State, is going to be having a whole lot of financial trouble because of high earners who have left. And what I think is so interesting is here is an MSNBC analyst talking about how, with DeSantis in Florida, he says it's all meth and alligator. Like 2019. Can we play clip 19?
In my view, there are 3 states you can't really run from if you're trying to run across America. You run from New York, you're too crazy, you're liberal. You run from California, you're too crazy, you're liberal, you're trying to make sure I can't get plastic straw. You run from Florida, it's all crystal meth and alligators, right? I mean, that's what people think. And I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm saying those are sort of the national reputations of those states. So when you see Ron DeSantis running and claiming that he's going to do for America what he's done in Florida, it seems like that'd be a problem.
I mean, it's definitely not a problem to the 800,000 people who have said, sign me up, I'm moving to Florida. And of those 800,000, how many of them have come from New York and California, the 2 Democrat stronghold states? A huge percentage.
Yeah, what I see where I live here in red state Tennessee is people have overwhelmingly moved here from New York, California, and Chicago area of Illinois. And when we talk about red getting redder, that's the people who are moving in. And to me, that is the signature question that cannot be answered by Gavin Newsom acolytes in California. If he did such a great job, why has California lost population for the first time since it became a state under Gavin Newsom's leadership? Think about how crazy that is. California became a state, I believe, in 1850. From 1850 to 2019, every single year, California added people. 2020 was the first year California lost population, 21 and 22 altogether. 700,000 people have left there, including Gavin Newsom's own in-laws, who moved to Florida, and are donors to Ron DeSantis. If there were truly a case that it were safer, people would be flooding to California and fleeing Florida. That's not what we're seeing at all. Now, the big challenge to me on the national divorce is, 1, move to red states and make them redder. That's the way that you can get a default version of this. That's what people are doing now, is they realize they can work remotely many different places. There's still, even in red states, however, are many blue islands. Nashville, Memphis, and my state, for instance, are going to continue to vote blue, but the state at large, it's as red can get. I want as many people who are going to vote red to move here. One final thought. One of my favorite stats. More people voted for Donald Trump in California in 2020 than in Texas. And a lot of your minds are blown every time you hear that. Obviously, that's partly a function of California having so many people. But regardless of which direction you go, there are still a lot of people left behind who are blue or red in states that would otherwise have substantial majorities in the other direction.
I also think it's worth noting that when you and I were growing up, which I guess I'm admitting was around the same time. I like to say it was decades apart, but no. When I was in junior high and Clay was in high school, California in the 90s in America was the ultimate American dream. It was reflected in all of our, Hollywood was out there, so that was part of this, but in our movies, our entertainment, and in California was just the place where people from all across the country wanted to go to. The fact that Democrats in, let's call it 2 generations, maybe less, a generation, have flipped that around so that California is now the place where if you're born and grew up there, you're fleeing from there, just goes to show you that state government matters. And that's what we really saw during COVID. It used to be, I think, everyone just said, oh, the president, the federal government, that's what matters to me. State government matters. Local government matters. Your school board matters.
To your point, Buck, on California as like this promised land, I had never been to California until I was in college. We went on a spring break trip in like 2002 or something like that to California, to San Francisco. And I was like, this place is amazing. I can't believe we went, down to the Redwoods or up to the Redwoods, the Muir Forest, I think. Went to the beach, checked out all of San Francisco. I was like, this place is flat out amazing. One of my best friends got married in San Clemente, California in 2005. My wife had never been to California, and we took the PCH and drove all the way down from San Francisco to Orange County. And I was like, my goodness, this is one of the most beautiful, unbelievable places in the entire world. It speaks to how bad Democrat leadership is, that basically so many people would be willing to leave America's Garden of Eden. Because that is in many ways what the natural topography, geography of California is.
Look, I think it's heartbreaking for a lot of New Yorkers who still see New York as, if you're a New Yorker, you always think New York is the greatest city in America and the greatest city in the world. People have left. I know a lot of people who have said that maybe they'll come back in 5 years or 10 years, but they don't want to see how this plays out while the lunatic left continues to run the show there. So we'll come back to this. By the way, big update, Clay, from Andrea Mitchell. We got something for you already. We're gonna bring that to you here in just a second. Stay with us. Big update on that one. But look, I also want to tell you about all the great work that's being done by individuals at the preborn pregnancy clinics nationwide. I mean, these are men and women who are choosing to help save the lives of unborn babies, and they're going above and beyond. These are clinics that welcome pregnant mothers and offer them a chance to meet their unborn child through an ultrasound experience. That precious experience allows them to hear the heartbeat and see their child growing within them. I mean, you can just imagine the life-changing, heartfelt moments, that godly connection between mother and child that so often leads to that mother choosing to bring her unborn baby into this world. Now, preborn receives no government funding. There's no huge apparatus behind it. It relies on you, the pro-life community. They depend on you and me for financial support. Preborn's team has rescued over 200,000 babies in this way. And they don't stop there. They provide love, support, and counseling for up to 2 years for mothers who give life to their babies for free. Each ultrasound costs about $28. So if you can just donate $28, you might help save a baby's life. Someone may have life that they wouldn't have otherwise because of a $28 tax-deductible donation. Five ultrasounds, $140. That could be 5 babies that have lives that wouldn't otherwise. You can donate right now. You can save lives. Using your cell phone, dial #250, say the keyword baby. That's #250, say the word baby. Or go to preborn.com/buck. That's preborn.com/BUCK. Sponsored by Preborn.
The Clay and Buck Podcast Deep Dive with cool content, surprise guests.
Get it all on the iHeart app or wherever you get your podcasts.
First for breaking news, 24/7 on KFBK, Sacramento's News Radio.
During times like
means it's completely normal to be worried about your investments and retirement. A leading cause for financial stress is not having a clear, written, understandable plan or financial roadmap.
Clay and Buck here to tell you about a local resource, Peak Financial Freedom Group. For decades, Jim and Dan have taken a hands-on approach to help their clients understand their money, identify risks, and navigate retirement. Their recent book, Mama's Secret Recipe for Retirement Success, co-written with Jack Canfield, hit the Amazon bestsellers list. Peak Financial focuses on proactive planning done by fiduciaries.
If you have $500,000 or more saved up for retirement, they're offering a free, no-obligation consultation. To take advantage of this free offer, simply dial pound 250, and when prompted, say the keyword money. Dial pound 250 and say the keyword money.
Investment advisory services are offered through Fiduciary Solutions, LLC, a California registered investment advisor. Insurance products and services are offered through PFFC Insurance Agency, LLC, California Insurance License Number 0N14013.
The following is a commercial message.
Attention small business owners. This could be the most important 10-minute call you will ever make. You could recover up to $26,000 per employee today. And all you have to do is make one short 10-minute call to take your business up a notch or bounce back from these difficult couple of years. Omega Accounting Solutions can help you recover any payroll tax overpayments you made during the pandemic. You may even be eligible to receive up to $26,000 per employee. All it takes is a quick, easy, free 10-minute ERC consultation to determine if you qualify. Omega is the small business champion with teams dedicated to maximizing tax credits. They know their stuff so well that CPAs and payroll companies even turn to Omega for ERC tax guidance. Call 800-300-9ERC. That's 800-300-9ERC. 1-800-300-9ERC. Or visit OmegaTaxCredit.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job. And you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
KFBK, Sacramento's News Radio, 93.1 FM, 1530 AM.
Welcome back in, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We were just talking about Andrea Mitchell and her false questioning of Florida well, it was actually based on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, but she was questioning Kamala Harris. And this is her response to the lie that she spread in her question. I haven't even heard this yet. Let's listen.
In my interview last Friday with Vice President Harris, I was imprecise in summarizing Governor DeSantis' position about teaching slavery in schools. Governor DeSantis is not opposed to teaching the fact of slavery in schools, but he has opposed the teaching of an African-American studies curriculum, as well as the use of some authors and source materials that historians and teachers say makes it all but impossible for students to understand the broader historic and political context behind slavery and its aftermath in the years since.
He didn't think that an AP high school course in African American studies should be focused on CRT and queer theory. That was the actual objection.
Andrea Mitchell is still lying because she said, do we have that audio? Well, it's not enough to say I was imprecise. Can we play the audio of her again? She specifically says that you can't teach slavery and its aftermath in Florida, which is a flagrant lie. Let's play that audio. I think
What does Governor Ron DeSantis not know of black history and the black experience when he says that slavery and the aftermath of slavery should not be taught to our school children?
I mean, this is crazy.
So I have a theory, Clay. It's always great to try my theories.
to you in real time with, a couple of million people listening. But here's my theory. I think that, because, you just read the press secretary for Ron DeSantis and his response to this about half an hour ago. I think that there's a recognition